The internet feels different. Something has gone missing. It's hard to say exactly when it happened, but if you've been online long enough, you've probably felt it too. The internet used to be this vast digital space of human made content and real dynamics and interactions. Now, most of us live on a handful of websites inside a narrow feed that curates information and frames the world for you. If you forget that, you risk letting that frame become how you actually see the world. Digital creators are trying to stand out in an ever-growing sea of trivial content and AI-generated slop, and sometimes even the comments are flooded. You're digging for something real through tons of bot messages, or you compete with them for visibility. So for many, Tim Berners-Lee's vision of an open web feels like it's going extinct, because as he warned us some years ago, the decisions about how the web works have shifted to corporations built to maximize profit more than social good. And you can see the outcome in where our attention actually goes. Most online activity is concentrated around a few giant platforms, and they only exist because people keep creating content and posting, but creators don't hold the power. The people controlling the distribution of that content do. Increasingly, actually, creators don't even hold full rights over what they create anymore. There's a reason all social media companies, news agencies, and search engines, and now even AI companies, share a certain common direction. The infrastructure underneath them is owned by a small group. The internet seems to be working now less for you and more on you, on modeling you into this docile user, the perfectly predictable consumer. Many sense this but can't quite put it in words. They might just blame algorithms, platforms, and policies, and those are parts of the problem indeed, but they are also symptoms of something much bigger. What is actually happening is related to this. In the early days, the internet used to be a network of pages. Then it became a network of platforms. Now it's becoming a network of procedures, checks, prompts, automated decisions, and there are three forces driving this shift. AI is no longer just a search box you use for quick answers, for fun prompts, or to speed up some of your tasks. In fact, if you're only seeing it like that, you're missing a lot. Essentially two big things: how much more you can do with it and what it can do to you when you rely on it without scrutiny. AI is becoming the thing that acts on your behalf, sometimes before you've even decided what you want. It interprets your intent, it predicts your next move, and it fills in the blanks you didn't even know were blank. In all fairness, that sounds convenient, and it is. But more and more that convenience comes with a trade. You give up a bit of agency at a time. Your relationship with your own actions is changing. You're not doing the thing anymore. You're starting a process that does it for you. And after a while, it gets harder to tell what was your decision and what was the system completing it for you. Over the last decade, and especially in the last few years, regulations like GDPR and the EU AI Act have changed how digital services operate, what they can collect, how they can track, and what they must disclose. The internet is becoming a series of gates, identity checks, consent flows, compliance layers, these are not bad in themselves. Many exist for legitimate reasons, but their cumulative effect is that permission now precedes even the most basic actions. And the claim that it's all for your safety is kind of losing its credibility, like in the case of chat control legislation. And if you don't know what that is, please do check it out. If this keeps getting pushed into one centralized system where a single and imposed digital ID becomes the requirement for basic participation in life, then yeah, that should definitely concern you. Because once that identity is tied to banking, to work, travel, to services, even to messaging and posting online, and it also becomes a condition of compliance with policies that start cutting actually into your rights, there is no real choice left. So I think it's fair to ask where this goes in 5 or 10 years, and if that level of centralization is something we should accept by default. Platforms started as places where you did things. Over time, they turned into systems that do things around you, deciding what you see, who sees your stuff, and even what counts as acceptable or what gets banned. When you put these three forces together, as a user, you start to feel less like an agent and more like an input. An agent acts, decides, and has choice. An input triggers a process and then waits for a result. Again, this is not automatically bad. Automation is useful. You can and you should build AI agents that handle repetitive tasks for you. By all means, automate your inbox, generate drafts, schedule tasks. The problem is when procedures erode agency from you and are built to benefit the system more than they benefit you. And you feel it in the way Access works now, with all these consent screens and endless policy updates designed to wear you down and make you click just so you get on with your day. Access is turned into a system that trains you to comply. This is why so many people feel disoriented online right now. Their relationship with technology doesn't feel so consensual. People feel overwhelmed for a good reason. The human factor is gradually removed from the loop. There's this scene in Terry Gilliam's Brazil, one of my favorite dystopian movies, where a man gets arrested because of a fly that lands in a printer and changes one letter in his name. So the system then simply executes, the wrong person is taken, and no one even notices because the procedure ran correctly, but the outcome was still completely wrong. This is what procedural means: automatic, indifferent, simply running. But neither platforms, AI, or regulations individually can create the biggest change and challenge. That happens when they combine. Intent is being separated from execution. You express intent, sometimes directly, sometimes through behavior, and systems interpret it, translate it, and act on it. And where can this go wrong? Let's say you just want to send a message, but there's a filtering system that decides whether your message complies with certain policies, uses approved language, and can actually be sent. Let's say you want to buy something, and again, there's a system that decides whether you're allowed to make the purchase depending on a score in a centralized rating system. Think social credit logic like you see in some parts of China or in an episode from Black Mirror. Bottom line, the system has greater agency than you do. Zooming out, this is why projects like SourceLess are getting more and more attention. They're building a different kind of infrastructure. Most systems today are built around platforms. You create an account and then the platform holds your identity together with your data and your permissions, all managed outside of you. And most recently, those platforms are claiming broad rights over what you upload and how it can be used. SourceLess proposes a different kind of internet, one that starts with identity and ownership, and it calls it the worldwide blockchain. In this model, identity is not issued by a platform, a corporation, or a state. It's owned and controlled by the individual through an STR domain. That's the root. Communication, AI, and finance connect to that same blockchain-based identity. This doesn't mean the procedural internet disappears. Automation will accelerate, regulation will keep gating, and platforms will keep mediating. That's the digital world we're in. And most people don't even consider that there can be another way. But there can. And whether you engage with SourceLess specifically or not, this shift is worth paying attention to. Because the current model, fragmented, centralized, breach-prone, and permission-based, will keep scaling the same failures. And we will pay the price.